the best players I ever trained in my life.
It's like it's scripted.
I didn't do a lot really, apart from play football.
I cannot believe that this is happening.
You're not getting the shine off my bald head, are you?
Now they're starting to believe again.
I can't deal with this.
If this happened today, it would be one of the most viral things ever.
Where do you want your statue, Vincent Kompany?
It's a city with character. No one did 4 Premier Leagues in a row.
Manchester City are the champions.
We are the best in the world.
Not bad.
Who were the people that made the club?
The greatest moment in the history of the Premier League.
Push yourself as much as you can.
And it's Steph Forson.
One of the best feelings that I've ever had in football.
City is one of the biggest clubs in the world today.
What's next?
For me, perfect package.
I'll be watching.
Good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live, and there is Pep Guardiola arriving at the G-Tech Stadium as Manchester City travel to Brentford. Of course, Premier League today, the last Premier League game before the international break. It is a 4:30 UK kickoff, and as always, you can get the full match commentary with Alistair Mann and with Michael Brown, of course, on the Manchester City app. We'll be here with you between now and then, and there is Rodri arriving. We'll have the team news for you as soon as we're allowed to tell you. We'll let you know if Rodri makes that starting 11. Of course, there is Rico Lewis, the players arriving. Josko Vardiol, of course, making that incredible partnership as he is with Ruben Diaz this season. And there is Savinho. Congratulations to him for the new contract, of course, that he signed this week. And do you know what? I'm going to let you know, a little bit naughty. You know I like to break the rules, but Savinho starts today. I will give you the full team news in about 30 seconds when I'm allowed to. Then Mateo Kovacic arriving, and John Stones. Love to see that man fit. And there he is, Erling Haaland, continuing to break records left, right and centre. The rest of the team arriving. Tijjani Reinders, James Trafford behind him. And I'm looking for Phil Foden getting off the bus because he has a phenomenal record against Brentford. And here it is. Here is your team news for today. So starting in goal, of course, it is Donnarumma, and then it's Matheus Nunes, Ruben Diaz, Josko Vardiol, and Nico O'Reilly keeps his place at left back. And then there's that man, Rodri, Tijjani Reinders, and a welcome back to the starting 11 to Oscar Bob. 2 of 3 changes in today's team. Phil Foden, 6 goals he's scored against Brentford. Let's hope he makes it 7, 8 and 9 today. Savinho is in today for Doku. And of course, starting up front, it is Erling Haaland. Good afternoon, welcome to Matchday Live. So 3 changes for City from the team that drew with Monaco midweek, and I'm joined in the studio today by 2 special guests. First up, of course, a Manchester City legend, Matchday Live favourite, it's Paul Dickov.
You say that to everybody, don't you?
Just you and Andy and Sean and Steph and Weaves and there's a few of you. Sean Wright, let's not forget him or we'll get in trouble. But yes, thank you as always. And we're excited, we've got a debut today. We have a debutant in the studio. Now, he started life here at Manchester City, lifting the FA Youth Cup, and then he went on to have a stellar career, including with our opponents today, Brentford. So we're delighted to have Ben Mee in the studio. Hey, Ben.
Thanks, great to be here.
Thank you for coming in. We love having a new person to play with, don't we?
Yeah, we do. But like when he was in the youth team, we've got to break him in a little bit back in the day.
Feels like a lifetime ago since I was in that youth team.
I mean, how long ago was that now? Was that 17 years?
Yeah, it'd been probably around that.
17 years.
Yeah.
17?
Well, I left the club at 21, so that was 2009, something like that. So something along those lines. So.
People at home are now calculating your age, by the way.
Yeah,
Ben.
well, I probably got that wrong actually, but yeah.
It's lovely to have you here. We're looking forward to getting into your career and also to have the perspective of a current player that's played against us many times. To get your perspective on this team as well is going to be brilliant. So as we say, 3 changes today from City from the team that drew with Monaco. If we look first of all in defence, Matheus Nunes comes back in. Of course, John was playing right back in that Monaco game. Perhaps a little bit makeshift Paul. Obviously,
Yeah.
Kushinov's still injured, who I thought had done incredible in that right-back spot. So it's back to Nunes today. What does he bring us? What does he give us when he's playing?
I think they'll give us the attacking threat that we need as well. You know, very rarely do we see City play with a back four. You know, I think you'll see today that Nunes will drop into midfield sometimes. He'll be pushing forward if Sabino's going to be on that side and he cuts in his left foot. And he's just a quality player. You know, he took a little bit of stick the last couple of seasons, and I think for somebody who was brought in as an attacking midfielder to then adapt to go and play full-back, it must be so difficult for that to happen. But he's done so well, and he's done it. As is Nico O'Reilly on the other side. You know, he's been exceptional.
Yeah. Absolutely, and the fact that he continues to hold his place as well shows you how well he's been doing. So one change there with Matheus Nunes. Then when we look further up the pitch, Oscar Bob and Savinho come in. I mean, they two attacking threats. I imagine if you were up against them, Ben, you might be thinking, uh-oh.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think both of them have got a point to prove as well, to coming into the side, you know, wanting to do well. I think, as Paul said, it's a really attacking line-up there, obviously having a lot of the ball today, probably. I've not seen the team for Brentford, but I'd imagine they'd probably play with the back five and sort of sit deep a little bit. So, yeah, they'll want the ball-playing players to get on the ball, Savinho, Oscar Bob on that wing, and, yeah, look to cause threats.
But how difficult is it, because you've played full-back as well, going from a centre-half to a full-back, how difficult it is for the midfielders like Nico and Nunes to go and play that position, because you've played there?
Yeah, it's difficult, but, you know, the top quality players, aren't they? So, but yeah, I think especially Nico's performing really well, and you know he's really settled into the side really well, and it's great to see him doing so well in that full-back position. And yeah, no, it's never easy, but you know he gets forward really well, doesn't he, and enjoys that side of the game as well.
What's the hardest bit when you're a centre-back and you have to move into that full-back position?
I mean, it depends what kind of a player you are. I guess you know nowadays you're expected to be able to get forward a lot more. Come inside, you know, sometimes you're playing as a sort of inverted midfielder as well, and trying to do all those kinds of different roles as well. I guess that you're probably more likely to be asked for rather than just a centre half playing in there. So yeah, I think it's different roles within playing fullback now that's certainly become more evident as the game's evolved.
Is that when we often hear people talking about football intelligence? We hear Pep talking about how clever, you know, how intelligent Rico Lewis is, football intelligence, that he's able to switch between so many different positions.
Yeah, I think so. And during a game, it might take the managers to make a little slight shift in sort of formation tactics. And you know, if he's got players like those two that you just mentioned to do that, it makes his life a lot easier to be able to just, you know, maybe move him inside and maybe sort of build up in a three and use one of the fullbacks to go into midfield and push on a little bit further forward. Yeah, it's nice to have those options on the pitch without having to sort of, you know, change too many players.
Yeah, very much. And of course, we know Pep appreciates a player that can play in those sort of multiple positions. In terms of those players that have come into the team again, if we have a look at Oscar Bob, obviously started so well. We know what we talked about him in detail last year. Bringing Oscar Bob into today's game specifically, Paul, what is he going to bring for you?
He brings a lot of quality. Like Ben said there, you know, I think Brentford will probably go with a back five.
I think so.
So the more players we've got on the pitch that can create that little bit of magic, that can get into little spaces, that can receive the ball in tight areas. You know, Oscar's got really quick feet. You know, last season was so disappointing for him because we all had high hopes. He got his injury. He's come into the team this season and done really well. So maybe the last couple of weeks having a little rest after being out for so long will be good for him, and he'll be ready to go. And you know, he's an attacking threat. He's a goal threat. He can get assists, and it's great to see him back in the team.
What's the kind of, for you, the difference between him and Bernardo Silva, who's dropped to the bench today? What's the kind of difference when each of them are playing?
I think Oscar's probably a bit more direct, wants to get at the full-back. When Bernardo plays, if he's playing wider in the middle, he ends up everywhere on the pitch. You know, he's one of these players, even when he's playing wide, he can go and get the ball off the centre-halves. You know, if he's playing in the middle of the park, he can end up out wide. But I think Oscar will keep that position more often than not. And I think Savinho and Oscar are going to be really important today in keeping the width. You know, because Brentford are going to be so difficult to break down. If they can keep their width and get the wing-backs, if it is wing-backs that are going to be there, that can create little pockets in the middle for Tijani Reinders and especially for Foden to get the space that we all know that he needs and loves.
And Phil Foden has a phenomenal record against Brentford, Ben. Like the amount of goals he's scored, specifically at the G-Tech as well.
Don't I know it?
Sorry.
You've been the end of a couple of
Yes, it's three he scored, yeah.
Perfect man to tell us about it, yeah. Why do you think he scores so many against Brentford?
I don't know, he's a quality player. He gets in really good good positions inside the box, and yeah, caused us a lot of problems certainly when I played against the guys. And you know, I think it was funny after that game that he scored the hat-trick. Erling said to me, he was like, "Yeah, you see, you don't just have to concentrate on me." So he probably, you know, give too much attention to Haaland in the box, and then obviously Foden's got in and scored a few goals as well. So, but yeah, he's obviously a class player. So, yeah.
He didn't make the England squad this week. Were you surprised by that?
Yes, the form he's in. He's coming to the side now, and he looks to be at the top of his game. Yeah, he's someone I was actually really surprised. There's a few inclusions that, you know, sort of, you know, you think should, or exclusions that should be in there. So yeah, he's certainly one of them. Yeah.
I'm actually quite happy.
I'm fine with it, Paul. I was about to say, as long as he goes to the World Cup, I'm fine with him not being there now.
You know what? If he keeps the form that he's in for this season, he'll go to the World Cup. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And you know what the reasons for Thomas leaving him out, I don't know. But with Phil having his injuries and illness and whatever last season, you know, to come back in this first little block of the season, he's been outstanding. And you know, maybe him having this rest for the next 2 weeks is going to benefit City and maybe England further down the line.
Yeah, I completely agree. My first instinct was, how can you not have Phil Foden in the England team? And then I was like, oh yay, Phil Foden's got a week off to relax and to train, and because he's been so pivotal for us this season, and we are seeing him creeping back up to those levels of 2 years ago again.
Yeah, and he's very, for somebody, people forget how young he is and the things he's won. You know, he's 25. I think he's got 6, 7 Premier Leagues, whatever it is, which is crazy. And but he's becoming a leader now, and I think especially this season we've seen since Kevin's left, you know, he's taken it upon himself to be the main man and be the one that's going to create chances and score goals. And he's never going to be Kevin De Bruyne, but Kevin would never be Phil Foden. But we're going to need the creativity and the leadership. I've seen that with Phil and especially Erling this season. You know, they look as if they're really taking it upon themselves to go out there and set an example for the rest of the team.
Still so young, but both such senior players now, like you say, in the squad. I want to talk to you about the centre-back partnership that we have at the minute. So Ruben Diaz and Josko Vardiol, this season seem to have become Pep's preferred centre-backs. I mean, we're finally sort of seeing Josko getting a run at centre-back as opposed to having to play out wide as well. How highly do you rate them as a partnership?
Yeah, massively. You know, two very good defenders. Obviously, Guardiola's been playing out on that left-hand side a little bit more, and I'm sure he'd be delighted to be playing inside now and getting a run at centre-half. But yeah, two imposing figures, you know, really good on the ball as well, both of them. And yeah, Diaz is such a, you know, he's turned such a leader of the group and that and thing. So yeah, really impressed with the two, and hopefully they can get a good partnership going throughout the season, and you know, that'll benefit City for sure.
How key is it to have a partnership when you get consistency with the person you're playing next to? Because we didn't really, because of injuries, we didn't really have it last year. We never really knew, but we seem to be getting it this year.
Yeah, I think a bit of you know, structure, relationship building. I certainly prefer to play alongside someone week in, week out, getting to know them. I say building a relationship with them, and I think you get them all over the pitch. And you know, teams change so much nowadays that, you know, come in and out, but to have sort of two mainstay centre-halves is important. They've got Rodri in front there who'll probably play most of the games, and you know, you have a sort of really good foundation there for the other players to build off and feed off, and yeah, I think it's certainly really important.
Is it too simple to say that when you've got a consistent back two, that it can sort of move the confidence throughout the team, that they know that they've got that sort of reliability in the back?
I think so. Look, from a forwards point of view, if you knew that your centre-halves or your back four were at it, it's always going to give you a chance to go and win the game. And I think having a back two or a back three consistent is massive. I think it's probably the most important position on the pitch, to have that communication and consistency within that. And you know, if you go back to the treble winning season and the Champions League and winning the 4 in a row, especially treble season, John Stones and Ruben were unbelievable that season. You know, they were probably two of the best centre-half pairings in Europe at that time, and that was because they played so much together. They knew each other's games, and it breeds confidence for everybody else. And with Ruben and Josko there, and then Ben rightly mentioned with Rodri in front of him, but then Donnarumma behind them as well. You know, that's not a bad spine to start building on.
Yeah, pretty decent, yeah. I'll take that spine, yeah, absolutely. Lovely, so that was the Manchester City team. Lise, thank you so much. So it's time now to find out the Brentford starting 11 for today. Having a quick look here, I can see that there is one change for Brentford from their win that they had over Manchester United last weekend. So the Brentford 11 for today: Kelleher, Coyote, Nathan Collins, who's the captain, Vandenberg, Ayer, Hickey, Henderson, Yarmayuk, Tamsgaard, Sharda and Thiago. So that is one change. That is Ayer who's come in for Utara from that victory that they had against Manchester United. So, Ben, eyes on that? Is that 5 at the back?
Yeah, it will be, yeah. It'll be Collins, Vandenberg, Ayer as sort of the 3 centre-halves, and Coyote and Hickey as the wing-backs, yeah. And then 3 in the middle and then 2 up front, so, yeah.
So, straight there. As predicted by both of you earlier on the back 5, that's what. Why is that what you were expecting?
I think it's been successful for them, not just for Keith, but obviously Thomas. The last couple of seasons when they've played, not the bigger teams, no disrespect to Brentford, but when they come up against your City.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was.
The blueprint's there already, isn't it, from what they've done before? And they'll be really difficult to break down, but they'll also be a threat in the break, you know, with Thiago and Shadi up top as well. You know, a lot of pace there, a lot of power. So they won't be happy. They'll sit in, they'll make it difficult for us, but when they've got the opportunity to put it in behind us, they won't think twice of doing it and then really, really stretching us. And personal note, and I'm sure you'll agree, I'm pleased to see Aaron Hickey back from a Scottish point of view.
Yes.
Because he's had a terrible time through injuries, and he's a fantastic kid, so to see him back starting the Premier League again was fantastic for him after today.
We need as many Scots in the top leagues across Europe as possible.
We do.
Paul,
we do that.
You and I will talk in detail about Scotland's qualifiers next weekend during the game, I imagine. In terms of the lineup, so we can tell then, Ben, that Pep's brought in an extra attacker, Brentford playing with an extra defender. Are they going to cancel each other out?
I don't think so. I mean, like Paul said, I think Brentford will be looking on the break, using the pace of especially Sharda on the break. You know, we've seen it a few times.
Rapid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's lightning. You know, seen it a few times, the ball from Henderson out the back. There's only one thing in his mind to play Thiago as well, actually, both of them too. So, you know, they will sit deep and it'll be up to City to break them down. And City will have a lot of the ball, I'm sure. But, yeah, I don't know whether they'll cancel each other out. So I think Brentford will be looking to attack as well at a similar time, but more counter-attacking football, I think.
Of course, Thomas Frank left in the summer. I think he's a phenomenal manager. I haven't seen too much of Brentford this year, but my presumption, and please tell me, will be that they are still going to play a direct type of football. That when I always think of Brentford, I think of like efficient football and trying, like you say, trying to hit teams on the break. Is that how they're still playing under Andrews?
I think you'll see that today. I don't think in other games, you know, they still like to go man for man in the high press and try and win the ball back early, and then probably sit back into a bit more of a lower press. But yeah, Keith's not changed a massive amount from Thomas. I think he's sort of slowly making changes within the system that was already there, which I think is a really, you know, a clever thing to do rather than going in there and trying to recreate everything. He obviously spent a year with Thomas last year, and I think he learnt a lot and sort of got to know the culture of the club and the way the club works as well. And yeah, I think he sort of changed it a little bit, but not massive amounts. And I think it's working well for them at the minute. But yeah, I think you'll see that today, probably the sort of deep and then try and play a bit more direct, certainly. So.
Was he an obvious choice for you? Did you imagine he would be in the succession plan for managers?
Being in the squad and being in around the training ground, yes, I thought he was a good fit. Probably looking on the outside, it was a bit of a surprise, but I think he's a really good fit. He speaks really well. Like I say, he knows the club. He's been there for a year now, learning. I think rather than bringing someone completely brand new who's going to, you know, bring loads of their own staff in and try and change the way Brentford do things in terms of on the pitch, I think he's sort of working really well with it. You know, like I say, gradually making changes, but like I say, not tearing everything up and starting from scratch.
I think from the outside looking in, we were talking about it before, it was a little bit disrespectful to Keith to say he was just a set-piece coach, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was a lot more than that, wasn't he?
No, he was. Yeah, he was more of a coach as well, and that experience heading around it. He'd played the game for a long time, and he's around the group, and he speaks really well, as I said, and yeah, he was building relationships with the lads over the past year, and you know, he's taken that into the manager's role now, which is great.
Pep's just said in his pre-match interview that it's difficult to take over from Thomas Frank, but that he's doing a good job. And I think it's difficult to take over from Thomas Frank, and then difficult when so many of your best players get sold in the summer, you know, as well. Looking at some of the key players in the team, you mentioned Henderson a minute ago. I can't keep an eye on where Jordan Henderson is at the minute, but obviously he's at Brentford, and it feels like that was a smart signing, given they lost so many key players, lost the leadership from someone like yourself as well, to bring in somebody that has that experience and that leadership like Jordan Henderson, seems like a really smart move.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a really good signing for the group. Certainly someone that they needed. He lost Norgard as well to Arsenal as the captain as well, so he was a big loss in that midfield. And yeah, Jordan's come in and yeah, sort of that similar role to.
That is you and him.
That was the Youth Cup semi-final. That was, yeah, me and him.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
we've done well to find that.
Yeah, a few games against you for over years, so no, it's a throwback, absolute throwback. But yeah, he's doing great for Brentford at the minute, and he brings that experienced head in and exactly what the club needed with all the young players that are around him. We spoke of Aaron in there, Aaron Hickey, and there's a lot of other players in there that are in and around sort of the early 20s that just need that little bit of guidance from someone like him, which he does. He's the perfect man to do that.
In terms of the scoring boots this year, you've got Igor Thiago. So he was signed last year, but sadly for him, spent a lot of the year injured. This season, he's well and truly said, I am here, I have arrived. So 4 goals in 6 Premier League games so far, including 2 against United last week, obviously, which we were all very happy with. Played 90 minutes in 4 of those games. I read this stat about him, which I thought was insane. He's had 5 goals from just 6 shots on target this year. So when he gets the chance, we're going to have to be really, really, careful with him. But what do you make of him?
Yeah, he's a really physical player. He came from Bruges last summer, came over. Like you say, he's been a bit unlucky with injuries. It's taken him a bit of time to get going, but yeah, he's certainly someone that could be a threat in and around the box. So very physical. Loves to put himself about. He's Brazilian. He's got a great touch, obviously. A little bit of flair there, a bit of skill. But yeah, he's someone that will work really well, I think, with someone like Sharda next to him, having that electric pace and yeah, a bit of variety up there for those two. And yeah, he's a really good finisher. Obviously, being a striker, and yeah, I think he started off quite well. But I think he'll get better and do even more and get probably more involved in matches as well. I think he's been a little bit on the periphery sometimes. But I think the more he gets used to playing the Premier League, he'll grow and develop. He's still only young as well, I think so. Yeah.
Paul, for you, where is the kind of who's the key player? What's the key areas in this Brentford team that we need to be keeping a real eye on today?
I think Ben will agree with it. Is Damsgaard. Yes, he's a fantastic footballer, isn't he? And he goes under the radar a little bit. But whenever I've watched Brentford over the last couple of years, and especially this season, he's a very, very intelligent footballer. And I do like Shad up front. I think his pace is electric, and he struggled a little bit when he first came in, didn't he? He was a young boy, he came over, and but slowly but surely he's getting back. Whether he's coming in from wide if they play the 4-3-3, but I like the look of him alongside Thiago up front as a centre forward, because the one thing he wants to do is run in behind. The one thing that defenders don't want to do is run back that way, and he'll be a real threat for us today.
So that is the Brentford team news for today. It's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff here in the UK. You get your full commentary on the Manchester City app with Alistair Mann and with Michael Brown. We mentioned a little bit earlier, Phil Foden loves to score against Brentford. I think it's 6 goals now that he has against them. I think they all come with the G-Tech as well. We've scored some peaches against Brentford over the years. So let's have a look at our last 5 goals against Brentford.
All with Haaland, on to Foden. Foden with a chance! Hat-trick, Phil Foden! What a day for Phil Foden! On it goes to De Bruyne. De Bruyne flips it across towards Haaland. It's cleared only as far as Foden! 1-1, right on half-time. You knew that Brentford would concede today. You knew at some point someone would score. I said if City score once, they'll win this game. It's now 1-1, right on half-time. De Bruyne in a crossing position, bends it in, and Foden, 2-1. Guess who? De Bruyne assist. Guess who? Foden goal. Scampers over to the City fans at the correct end as far as the Blues are concerned. And it's City 2 and it's Brentford 1. When you've got Kevin De Bruyne, you can unlock any safe. All with Haaland, on to Foden. Foden with a chance! Hat-trick, Phil Foden! Haaland with the assist. Foden with the finish. What a day for Phil Foden. What a day for City. They've come from behind. They lead 3-1. And Phil Foden goes over to the City fans at the end at which he scored. And he'll take home the match ball. Swung Manchester City, just like that. After the disallowed goal for Brentford, City go down the other end. The defender on a tour and gets away as the defender slips up. Phil Foden wants this cut back to him. Savinho's going to go for goal himself. The follow-up is put in. It's Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden. One of them got onto it. Neither knows who, but it's City's second goal.
I feel like we've just been a bit cruel, really, playing that with Ben sat here in the studio. Apologise, Ben, we apologise.
I don't think he wasn't at fault for any of them. I'm used to it. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Now, last weekend, Erling Haaland made history because, of course, he did again, breaking record after record after record. He became the highest-scoring Norwegian in Premier League history, scoring his 92nd and 93rd goals. So, before we delve deep into Erling Haaland, let's take a look back at this brilliant video.
City reached an agreement with Borussia Dortmund to sign the Norwegian.
Erling Braut Haaland. I knew that I was going to come here and perform.
I could almost smell the fear in the rest of the league.
He is an absolute phenomenon. He's broke a record. He's only been here a month.
9 goals, 5 games.
It's unbelievable.
The hair has been released.
He is a striking Viking now.
Against Southampton, it was a really nice one.
The first player in Premier League history to hit 35 goals in a season.
Stronger, fitter, bigger, more deadly than ever.
Score again! This is just amazing!
We are looking at one of the greatest players to grace the Premier League.
He's an exceptional player. It's not necessary to tell you, everybody knows it.
He's an unbelievable centre forward who can destroy teams.
When you've got a striking Viking, you've got a guarantee of goals.
Norway's greatest goal scorer,
Erling Haaland.
What a man. What a man. And if it's possible, I feel like he is getting better this year. Like, he's taken on this leadership role, this senior player role, and he is thriving with it. Paul, I feel like you and I have probably run out of words now to describe Erling Haaland.
It's getting a bit boring now, isn't it?
Yeah, so thankfully we've got someone in the studio today who has played against him, and I'm sure we can learn, we can get some new insight today from Ben. So, Ben, what's it like to play against him?
A nightmare. A nightmare. No, he's annoying because he just pops up in the right places at the right times, and then his physicality is so big and strong, and you know you try and do everything you can to sort of put him off a little. So I'm just watching the screen as well now. Playing against.
You're sticking to him.
Yeah, but no, like he'll sort of be quiet in games. You think you've sort of got him a little bit, and then he'll pop up. I think we played City at the Etihad, and it was 0-0 for a long time, and then one slip from Chris Ayer, who plays today, and then he was in and scored. And you just know when he's one-on-one, he's going to score. He's going to bury he's going to bury it, and yeah, his physicality in and around the box, and yeah, like I say, he doesn't get involved too much in games sometimes, but then even during the week, then he pops up with 2 goals, and you know, in those scenarios, those situations, the ball coming into the box, so powerful and strong, and. Yeah, he's just a nightmare for defenders.
I know the centre half, the concentration levels have got to be there all the time. Is it different with him? Because you think you've got him for 89 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and they might not touch the ball, but then all of a sudden he goes. Does that play in your mind as a defender when you're playing against them?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, of course it does. And then you know you have that other scenario where you're focusing too much on him, and then Phil Foden gets in and does that, so he attracts defenders as well and creates opportunities for other players as well, because people are so focused on him in and around the box, and more often than not, he does get on the end of things. So, yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to play against. But like you say, you think you've got him. I think you've got him. I've played against Sergio Aguero was a little bit like that as well. He was the same. Not the same, but similar in terms of being in and around it, but not getting involved in the game loads, but you give him one opportunity.
That's it.
And yeah, it's in the back of the net.
How did Haaland and Aguero differ? Aguero's my favourite Manchester City player of all time, so I'd love to know how did it differ for you playing against them?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I love playing against Aguero. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed the challenge of up against him. He was one of my favourite players as well. And yeah, similar players. Obviously, Haaland probably runs in behind more and has got power and pace. Sergio obviously power as well, and he wasn't slow himself, but yeah, both unbelievable finishers. I think Aguero is cleverness in and around it as well, and Haaland's probably more pace and power, and Aguero probably a little bit more clever in the way he does things, and yeah, as a player, you know, both phenomenal players.
Haaland now has 11 hat-tricks for City. Only Aguero has more than him. Aguero's on 16 hat-tricks as well, which is just, considering the time that Erling's been here and how good Sergio Aguero was, it's just absolutely phenomenal. When you are facing Erling Haaland, are you preparing any differently personally or as a team, knowing that it's him you're going to be coming up against?
I think so. I think for us it was trying to deny spacing behind, and then obviously in and around the box, be physical with him. Don't let him get a run on you and jump on you, because if you do, you're not going to stop him. So it was about trying to be physical with him, especially at that far post where he's so dangerous when the ball stood up for him. And so midweek, you know, his heading ability, the power he can generate on it, and yeah, I think that's sort of the things that we that relationship between when Kevin was here, between them two was something that we really looked at and tried to sort of nullify, I guess. So yeah, those types of things with regards to him.
His goals against Monaco, they're different to what Ben's describing in terms of what we've seen from him over the years. Is that his development as a player, or a change in how the team's playing? What do you put that down to?
He's always scored all sorts of goals. I mean, this header here, and Ben's just talking about, don't let him get let him get even a couple of yards running you.
That sort of back half the goal there,
and
so dangerous.
It's still such a hard header, that, you know, because he's up early and he's actually heading it as he's on his way down, and to get the power in that, put it straight in the corner is unbelievable. But I loved his first one, his first goal. You know, the little touch. People don't realise how hard that is in that situation, you know. And but if you look at his goals, look, great ball, but then just that little touch. 9 times out of 10 players will try and take that in their chest. They won't even think they're back into here, take a touch now. But he's just got the instinct just to lift it over the goalkeeper, and the ball's gone away from him as well, so to be able to control it and just loop it over the goalkeeper from 7 yards out and still getting the net is great. But you know, we talk about his finishing, his headers, his right foot, his left foot, slides on the corner, the power, little touches here through one-on-one. You know, he's got everything, and it's, you know, the amount of goals he's got already, and it's going to be really, really scary where he could end up in the amount of goals that he's going to score.
Where does he rank in terms of strikers that you've faced in your career?
Yeah, up there with the best. I always say Sergio was probably the best of playing, Harry Kane as well, but obviously, yeah, Haaland's certainly up there with the best. Like I say, he doesn't get involved in the game so much, but it's just in and around the box. He's so difficult to mark, and then the runs in behind. You saw the Monaco defence just switch off for a split second. He's noticed the gap, and he's off and running, and when you've got quality behind that can pick the pass and find it, yeah.
Talking about Sergio and Kane, they're not Premier League greats, and they were here for so many. I mean, Erling's is 24.
Yeah.
And I think people forget how young he is, and to have that amount of goals and the improvement that he's still got, which is scary. It's scary to think about in the future years. It's incredible.
You know, when you talk about him having a quiet game, I'm just thinking about the man sat next to you, and I'm wondering, even when he's having a quiet physical game, is he a chatter on the pitch? Don't know why that made me think of you, Paul.
Maybe a little bit, but not massively. Just a grabber and a pincher. Yeah. But everyone does that, so yeah. So grabbing and doing little bits.
Does his style differ to any? Can you think of it, particularly anybody that you played with or trained with? I mean, obviously you'd be training with Ivan Toney for so many years, who was just a phenomenal player as well. Does Erling's style differ? Any ways you can think of from any of the sort of strikers that you've played against?
Yeah, I mean, he's sort of a one of a kind, really. I think he's the way he's built, the way he runs and moves, and you know, his physical presence. I guess he's very different to anything really that I've played against tall strikers and big strikers, but not ones that are as quick as him. You know, you usually kind of get one or the other, don't you? That's, you know, good in the air, or, you know, but he runs in behind, and you know, he's obviously physically very strong as well. So he's probably different to most strikers.
I still can't get over how fast he is. I think it was the Arsenal game, Paul, when he took off.
Yeah.
Like, I knew he was fast, but I can't believe how he left Gabriel for dust in that game. I didn't realise his speed.
Yeah, but he seems to have got quicker again, and I know it's something he works on. He doesn't take it for granted, you know. And he works on his power, he works on his pace, He wants to, even if it's half a yard quicker that he wants to get, he'll do everything he can to do that. The biggest thing for me, and I say it all the time, I know you mentioned Ivan Toney there and Aguero and Kane, Erling's not bothered if he's not involved in the game. You know, all the other top strikers I can think of, they'll get frustrated. You know, they want to come deeper and deeper to get touches on the ball because they want to be involved. He doesn't care. No. He just doesn't, his mentality doesn't care. Whereas I think all the other wonderful strikers we've had in the Premier League, and we can go back to the very start, there's an element of frustration if they're not getting the service. And sometimes it can cause a little bit of disharmony because they want to be the main man. You're the centre forward, you want to score the goals, you want to get touches, but it doesn't bother them. Yeah, there's a stereotype in strikers. Paul, again, you were one, you can tell me that strikers can be a little bit selfish. Yeah. I mean, he scored 2 goals on Wednesday night and he wasn't happy because the team didn't win. I know, I think that was his first touch the other night. I'm not sure. First or second touch? Yes, it was his first touch, I think it was. And for him to go the first 15, 16, or however long it was minutes and not touch the ball as a striker, it's really difficult not to lose your head and frustration kick in, you know. And then the fact that the first touch he does get, he's got the awareness to make the run and then just do a little dink over the goalkeeper. It's incredible, it really is. His numbers this year are going to be frightening, I just know they are. Between the two of you, I'd like you to just do a little game with me. So I want us to try and build an Erling Haaland when you're thinking of some of the great strikers that you know, that you've played against over the years. And I've got 3 attributes for you. So I've got pace, power and finishing. So we're going to build an Erling with 3 players. Making sense? Yep. So, strikers you know played with pace. Who's got a similar pace to Erling? To Erling? One of the quickest for me was Thierry Henry. Yeah, I'll go with Thierry. I didn't obviously play against him, but yeah. Thierry Henry. Yeah, it was rapid. Rapid, yeah, absolutely. OK, so we've got Thierry Henry's pace. Put Sean Wright-Phillips in there as well. Oh, yeah, he'll appreciate that. We'll chuck the wee man in there. Yes, he'll appreciate that. Power. Who's got the power of Erling? Drogba. Oh, I like that. Did you play against Drogba? Yeah, briefly, yeah. Briefly. Was that hard? Yeah, I think it was a substitute, to be fair. I think he came on late on in the game. But yeah, I think probably someone like him. One of my favourite Premier League players ever. And then finishing. Sergio, from me. Yeah, I'll go Aguero, yeah. Oh, Thierry Henry, Drogba and Sergio. It's not a bad 3, is mixed together. Not a bad 3. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm having that. I love that. Thank you so much. I knew we'd get some amazing insight from you from playing against him there. Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, some great news that we had this week. Congratulations to Savinho, who got a contract extension this week. So, he got a new 2-year extension, which means he will be with us until 2031, which is just phenomenal. Of course, 13 assists in his first season, 5 goals. So, congratulations, a huge congratulations to Savinho. What did you think when you heard the news, Paul? Yeah, it's great news. You know, there was a lot of speculation about him this summer. There's no secret that Tottenham came in and wanted to sign him, and the club didn't want to sell him, which shows him that he's got a big future here, and to sign his contract. And he's still a young boy. You know, I thought he'd done really well last season, considering it was his first season. Coming to a new club, new country, new atmosphere, everything about it, and he took to it really, really well. And you know, he's only going to get better and better and better with the years that he's got now in front of him. That you say, so young, and I love it when the club is putting long contracts in for young players. I love the kind of, it feels like the long-term planning. I love the fact that even obviously signed his contract that he wanted to stay as well. You know, when Tottenham come in, Pep historically has said that if players don't want to be here or are asked to go, that he'll let them go. You know, so when Tottenham come in from the summer, he might have looked at it and looked at the wide players we've got, the players that we've signed, and thought, I'm going to have to move on. And the fact that he wants to stay here, that he wants to get in the team and that he loves it here is a huge factor. I love that finish. I remember when we watched that live, I was just laughing when he scored that. He's got big shoes to fill today, though, Ben, because he's coming in for Jeremy Doku today, who's had an incredible start to the season. Yeah, he does. I mean, it's a great opportunity for him. You know, just sign a new contract. Go show what you're about now. You know, he's got that comfort behind him, that support obviously from the club. Now he just needs to go and prove what a good player he is and how much he deserves to be in this team, and you know, starts today. Absolutely, we hope we see that today, absolutely. Now, we are celebrating the best of our blue Brazilians today. Paul, do you remember the name Glauber Berti? I do, yeah, he signed just after my last stint at the club. I played with him. No, you didn't! Yeah, I've written a reserve team game, yeah. Oh my gosh, okay, that is really exciting. We need more information on that. So before you do, try and refresh the memory and I'll get excited to hear about that. So let's have a quick look at this.
esperava a oportunidade e a oportunidade não vinha. Eu acho assim, quando você tem a oportunidade e de repente não vai bem, tudo bem. Agora eu não tive a oportunidade. Foi uma coisa que marcou minha vida, marcou até hoje. Conto essa história para todos os amigos, para todas as pessoas que perguntam sobre a minha carreira, sempre tem que tocar nesse assunto. Então é uma coisa que me marcou e acredito que marcou também essa minha passagem pelo Manchester City.
So Glauber Bertie was signed in August 2008 and finally made an appearance on the last day of the season, May 2009. Got an ovation, got cheered crazily every time he touched the ball, got man of the match and just became a Manchester City cult hero. And you can watch a documentary about Glauber Bertie, another incredible production that the club have done, of course, on City Plus. Do take a look at that. You played in a reserve game with him.
I'm pretty sure I did, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Did you have any idea that he was going to become a cult hero?
No, but I remember it well, actually. Yeah, I remember it well. I remember the reception that he got and everything, so yeah, it was nice.
We have a way at this club of taking people to our hearts, Paul, and we took him to our hearts.
It just shows you that I don't think there's many clubs or many players in the world that would get cult hero status after making one appearance in a season, but it just shows you that the City fans are the best. They've got a sense of humour as well, and they love backing people that maybe need backing at the time. You know, they would have realised it would have been a tough season for him. So to see him get his appearance and get a standing ovation was great.
We love an underdog.
We do.
We do. We love backing someone. I totally agree. So, of course, celebrating the fact that Savinho got a new contract this week, celebrating Brazilian blues. That was Glauber Bertie a little bit later on. We're going to get the guys to put together their best ever Manchester City Brazilian 5. So it'll be a five-a-side team. I've seen Paul's. He's got no defenders in it. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Edison will be a goal. We'll work it out. Now, we thought we'd just take a little moment here to do something a little different on Matchday Live. Because, of course, with Brentford's appointment of Keith Andrews as manager in the summer, of course, set-piece coach, but we know from the guys that he did so much more than that as well. But thinking about that set pieces, we thought we'd take a little look at some of City's incredible set-piece goals from over the years. And, of course, having Ben with us now, we couldn't ignore a classic centre-back goal from a corner. We love one. So let's take a look at some of these. So the first one is, of course, Vincent Kompany against Manchester United. Paul, I remember that goal like it was yesterday. Honestly, like it just feels like it was last week.
It did, and what a celebration as well. And that went a long, long way to his winning the league that season. You know, it was a huge game. We were chasing them down. United were on the rocks a little bit, and then, you know, Vinny, what a header that is. And then I think you could see the passion, the celebration, what it meant to him and what it meant to everybody.
That's a high jump, that, Ben, isn't it?
Yeah, great header from the big man. Important goal, as Paul said, and rest is history.
I never know how you guys jump so high when I see it.
I didn't. All right, you can speak to Ben about that.
Right, the next time we're going to have a look at your favourite, John Stones. Of course, you'll immediately know which goal I'm talking about. This is John Stones versus Liverpool. Oh, it's behind us here. OK, I missed it, but I saw it in real life.
Yep, fantastic set piece, and obviously something they'd worked on. I think they get a little block in with Nathan. Kevin drills it in the near post, and John gets the space to go in and tap in straight from the training ground.
You make it sound so easy there, Paul.
Do you know what's not? The ball is incredible from Kevin, because it's got to be perfect, that, Ben, isn't it?
Yeah, it's perfect.
I remember the celebration. Yeah.
Timing of it all, everything was perfect. So.
You know, the most difficult thing, you can work in set pieces in the training ground and every single day for as long as you want. The most difficult thing to do is, you'll know, Ben, is take it out onto the pitch and actually execute it.
Which we did there perfectly. Let's have a look at another one. Another Matchday Live favourite, Joleon Lescott versus Manchester United. OK. This one's a bit grainier, which shows you it was a bit of a while ago, this one, Paul. But any goal against Manchester United, and of course, Joleon.
At Wembley as well, wasn't it?
Now, we think that was De Gea's first game against United, so that was a serious welcome to Manchester, welcome to the Premier League.
That was it. The ball in makes it, you know. I'm not doing Julian any disservice there, but the ball in's fantastic. You can't defend against that, and you know Julian's got his run in there, big, strong, powerful, and got a great little header on it.
Now, I feel like this is a really simple, silly question, Ben, but I've never been on a football training ground, so I wouldn't know. How much of your time do you spend on set pieces?
Yeah, at Brentford we spent an awful lot of time.
There was a lot, wasn't there, at Brentford?
Yeah, there was a lot. We were, after training, the session would end and then we'd be, you know, a few of us out there practicing set pieces around the mannequins and stuff. We'd be out there for 15, 20 minutes, you know, just going through corner routines, and then we'd probably spend another day doing free kick routines and just getting that timing right and everything, and there'd be different ones to learn, whichever week it was, and yeah, we spend most days after training and meetings as well around it. So yeah, a lot went into it.
So a good test of the memory as well.
Yeah, to be honest, when I first moved to the club, I found it quite intense. I joined 3 weeks before the season started, and I had to learn all these colours and different meanings of what we did and how we worked. And
so explain a little bit about the colours, obviously.
So yeah, different colours for different obviously set pieces. So before the corner comes in, we're coming up for the corner, and if you've got a piece of red on us, so obviously with Brentford we had red on, so it'd be like this sort of red colour or a
Who makes that decision?
We just have one. It's probably Norgard for us, our captain, who made that decision, or made the decision. Or we'd have the same set piece for the first 3, and we'd put it in the same area, and then we'd change it after however many we got or however many it was. So it was all different, and then we'd work around it. So, and you had to remember it amongst like all the free kicks that we had as well. We had different set piece free kicks and different colours for them.
Did you ever forget them and do the wrong thing and go?
When I first started there, I didn't have a clue what was going on.
But your mind was all over the place.
Yeah, it was all because you're trying to get to the way the team plays. You know, they fit into a new side, and then you've got to memorise everything else as well, which comes with it. So there's a lot to memorise. It's all up on the wall before you go in, going out to the match, and you're going out for warming up. So you stood there looking at this wall full of pieces of paper with different colours on it and everything like that. So yeah, getting your head around it, but you soon learn it all, and it becomes a little bit of a pattern. So yeah, I would forgot it, Paul.
I've forgotten what you said already.
Does it make you laugh? I have an 8-year-old, and when they're playing football, it always makes me chuckle. When they're taking a corner, one of them will put their arm up, or they'll put 2 arms up, and obviously they're doing it because it's just what they see, but it always makes me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so sometimes they have meaning behind it, the 2 arms or 1 arm, but you know, when kids, you know, just copying, you know, mimicking the professionals, it's always funny. My lad does the same. Yeah.
My boy on my son's team scored a goal a couple of weeks ago and celebrated by running to the parents and doing this. And I was like, oh, no, we've not done anything. We didn't say anything. We're cheering you. So yeah, I love this insight on the set piece as well. OK, we're going to have a look now at some of our free kick set pieces, obviously, that we've had over the years. Always a pleasure. If you're thinking of a free kick at Manchester City, clearly you're going to be thinking immediately of Kevin De Bruyne. So this one was against Cardiff. Now, this is the one we think, it's just, you know, at the time when before draft excluders came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you have another little look at it, oh, dink,
yeah,
dink. And then after this, Paul, we started seeing people lying down.
We did, but just shows what Ben said about the time put into it. Because I remember Kevin saying afterwards that they'd studied with the analysts what they do in the wall, the Cardiff players, and every single free kick that they jumped. So we thought he would put it underneath. It's clever and intelligent, but it just shows you it's just not off the cuff all the time. You know, there's a lot of practice and hard work that goes into it.
How did you decide who was going to be a draft excluder?
The daftest one, I think, goes in there. So no, I don't know. It's kind of a thing that's come in it, like you say. I think, you know, what we used to do is just go on our toes. We didn't used to jump, just go on our toes, but then you're losing that height for someone just to put it over the top of you. So it makes sense having someone there. Some managers don't like it because if it comes off the goalkeeper, you can't really turn and get back if you're in the wall to clear it because there's someone lay down, so you probably fall over them, obviously. But yeah, it's become a thing. You know, one person does it, and then the whole Premier League does it. It's kind of the way. It's like everything.
I wondered if they'd be like rock paper scissors, like you're the one lying down today.
It's usually the smallest one.
Bernardo,
he's going to get stuck with it as well.
Do you remember the one when, I can't remember which game it was, and Bernardo was the draft excluder, but somebody didn't like where he was and they just picked his legs up?
It was Ruben, I think, just picked him up and dropped him again and somewhere else, like a little ball.
God bless Bernardo Silva. Love that. How long do you, so in terms of the free kicks then, if you know you're going to be up, you're going to be defending against someone like Kevin De Bruyne, are you doing specific work on him in terms of where he places them or what he can do?
I think the goalkeeper's more where he wants his wall, how he wants to set up. You know, where's he like to shoot from, where's he like to sort of cross the ball. And then, yeah, you get in the wall and hope and pray, especially if it's him. He's not going to stick it in the top corner. So, yeah.
How much of that is just pure skill from, say, someone like Kevin De Bruyne, just pure skill and pure talent, and how much of it is repetitive training?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think with somebody like Kevin, his ability is off the scale. You know, he's world class. Yeah. Everything that he did, but they do watch, and like going back to the Cardiff goal there, they will look at the setup of the other team. You know, the guys who are taking set pieces will be massive today for Brentford, but I think for us as well today. But you know, Phil and the guys today, they'll be watching how Brentford set up its defensive set pieces and looking for somewhere within that to try and find a little weakness in there that they can exploit.
Set piece coaches seem to have become really prevalent in the modern game. I mean, to the point where we know the names of them, you know, and the Arsenal set piece guys getting a mural drawn of him.
Stop me in him.
Oh, why?
No, just go on.
Stop.
Look, I think set pieces coaches, this isn't old school, I think it's really important. But I can't stand it when they're in the technical area ahead of the manager telling people what to do. You know, I think just sit down, get back in your box and know your space. You know, you've got people running out ahead of their managers telling players what to do. That's the technical areas there for the manager. Just concentrate on your set pieces and sit down. So it's a real bugbear of mine.
I love that.
I'm with you. Yeah. I'm with you.
Love
all the work's already done,
yeah.
So yeah. There's no need for it, really.
Yeah.
They've worked in it in training, they've spoken about it in the changing room, it'll be up. Yeah. The analysts will show you on it, so why does he need to go out and tell people what to do, apart from his own self-importance?
Love that. From Paul. Yes, that's what I'm here for. OK, I'm going to have a look at a few more free kicks now as well. So let's have a look at this one again. So this is, of course it is another, that was, oh, I missed it. That was Kevin De Bruyne to Alvarez. That was against Burnley. Oh, look at those big smiles. I want to see that one again. We'll wait for that. Now, notice that is Pep going up to the set piece analyst who sat
That's
in
how
the
it should
stand.
be. Yeah. But yet again, that's something that they've spoke about before the game. They've seen that space is going to be there. They've seen that the opposition teams, how they've set up that, and they've spoke about it and they've worked it.
Oh,
Yeah, that was an Aguero one as well. Yeah. Done that. I used to do that an awful lot. I remember him doing it against us as well. So yeah, it's one that's been used quite a lot. From Kevin and the likes.
Little sneaky.
Yeah, I was always watching Sergio and that's particular one. Yeah, exactly. Trying to. Yeah. He's caught us with one, I think.
But he would walk away as if he wouldn't be interested.
Oh, he wouldn't be interested. Yeah, and he'd make eye contact with whoever's taking it, and you'd just know you'd be like, it'd be too late, and then. Yeah.
That's another thing that always makes me laugh in professional football as well, where it's like there's 2 or 3 of them standing around with the ball waiting for the free kick and everyone's looking really serious, pretending that they're like getting the acting skills on, pretending that they're the ones that's going to take it. And then someone puts it down and you're like, you got him. So you've got the ones where the sort of that one that we saw there, the sort of clever one from Kevin De Bruyne, sort of dinking it through to Alvarez as well. What about a free kick, Paul, where the player just cracks it? Are you a fan of those?
Yeah, I love that.
Nothing clever, just whack it.
Yeah, again, they would have been working on that and guaranteed. And Alano here, I remember that one.
Oh!
You know? But Alano used to get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 balls after training, not necessarily a goalkeeper in from that distance, and practice it. You know, practice his technique, practice hitting the target. And the way he even strikes the ball doesn't look right on it, but then the movement he gets, it's just an incredible free kick.
It's an unbelievable free kick. I've seen that so many times, but I feel like I just saw it for the first time again. And of course, that fits in lovely today as we are celebrating our blue Brazilians, of course, in thanks to Savinho's new contract that he received this week. So we've delved into the archives here again, and this is what happened when we asked Alano for his reaction from that iconic free kick.
Você foi artilheiro na sua primeira temporada. Qual que é o gol que você mais gosta?
Olha, eu tenho alguns gols importantes e que eu fico feliz. Mas o gol do Newcastle, contra o Newcastle de falta, ele tem uma história bacana, engraçada. Porque no treino, o Didi, o Herman, o de Michael Johnson, o Mika Hitch, eles ficavam, você vai chutar daí?
No treino eles falaram isso.
Mas tá longe. Eu falo, não, se sair, tive a oportunidade, porque normalmente eu cruzava, né? Porque estava longe, né?
Uhum.
E aí eu falei, vou chutar. E quando eu arrumo a bola no jogo para chutar, eles encostam no meu lado, tanto é que a hora que na comemoração, eles estão chegando e eles vêm, tipo, ela, diz ela. E aí vem, porque eles também não acreditavam que eu fosse chutar. E esse gol, ele é o primeiro de todos.
Vamos fazer um desafio aqui. Depois de 16 anos, você topa recriar esse gol ali no indoor pitch?
Opa, eu tô mais velhinho, mas ainda tô dando uma treinada. Mas vamos lá, vamos tentar.
Vamos lá,
né?
então?
Vamos tentar. Nem quando eu fui chutar, que eu olhei o goleiro, que eu me posicionei, o goleiro normalmente ele fica 2, 3 passos para o meio do gol, né? Porque aqui tem a barreira. Então a minha leitura era o quê? Eu vou chutar na direção do goleiro para ela começar a sair um pouco. Ela não pode sair muito porque senão ela vai para fora. Então eu chutava mais ou menos na direção do goleiro, porque da maneira que eu chutei, ela faz a curva para cá ou ela sai reto. Então quando ela sai reto, eu não chuto de 3 dedos com curva para ela vir para cá. Eu chuto um pouco mais com um dedão, né? Que ela sai um pouco reta. Quando ela vai saindo aqui, eu já vejo que vai fazer o gol. E depois o Cheguei veio jogar com a gente. Aí eu brincava com ele, que eu fiz gol no Newcastle aqui e lá.
Sei.
Ele era o goleiro.
Você sabia que a gente entrou em contato com ele?
Para ver se ele vinha.
Para ver se ele vinha ser o seu goleiro, mas só que ele tem um trabalho lá em Londres, ele está em Londres.
Pena.
E ele falou para você, fala pro Elano lá que foi sorte, eu deveria ter pego.
Não, mas o meu não foi sorte não, meu foi treino. Agora vai. Não! Ai, mano.
Não.
Vai sim.
Agora eu vou acertar. Agora vai.
To be Elano over this. One man is hanging around, but Elano is the man measuring it up.
Everybody wants to see him get a goal. He's going for it, and he's got it!
Oh, what a hit! Oh, that's electrifying from Milano!
And they don't come much better than that. The Brazilians have a certain way of doing things.
It's one that puts the icing on a very sweet-tasting cake for Manchester City. Already a contender for goal this season, we're only in September.
São coisas que eu agradeço a Deus todos os dias, né? Porque morar onde eu morei e chegar até aqui e jogar num clube e ver tudo isso hoje, para mim eu me sinto uma pecinha do tabuleiro ali muito importante.
He nearly got it bang on again. Like, that is impressive. And my favourite part, apart from the free kick in that, Nedum's face, his eyes are looking and he's sort of mouthing, wow, I loved that. You were saying that Elano played in a Legends game.
He played in Masters, a few years ago. Obviously, he was playing from Brazil. And he was ridiculous. His touch, his technique. They had Rivaldo played in their team, Roberto Carlos. There was like some proper names, but he was head and shoulders above everybody else. Wonderful, great guy, by the way. Top guy, but what a player he was.
I loved that video. Excellent editing to the team as well. A brilliant video. What an insane free kick. We need to ask Nedum about that next time he's on, by the way. We need to show him that clip and find out what he was thinking in his head. So I love that. OK, so we are just over 20 minutes away from today's 4:30 p.m. kickoff in the Premier League. City taking on Brentford down in London. And as always, you can get the full commentary on the City app from the wonderful Alistair Mann and Michael Brown. So let's go over to them now and find out what they think ahead of the game.
So, Michael, we've had time to digest the Brentford lineup, but what is the eye-catching aspect of their team news today?
Well, I think you've got to look at a new manager, very inexperienced at this level. He's been changing between a back four and a back three at times. He was very successful, obviously only recently against the result against Manchester United, but it looks like bringing Aya in, that there's going to be a change into that back three. We've seen so many times, Ali, haven't we, that teams prefer to go that way against Manchester City, and Pep's attacking style to try and be hard to beat, to try and be strong, trying to get a base in front of them. But what we do know about them, they're going to counter-attack very, very quickly.
Why do you think that teams believe going to a 5 is such a good weapon against City?
It is a strange one, isn't it? Because you'd feel like that Pep would have more of the answers. I do think it limits the space. I think, you know, those sort of 2 number 8s, that sort of stroke 10s that Manchester City have. Obviously, they bring the extra one in from a full-back area, and then it's those runs in between centre-backs. I feel like they can gather the space. The wide players can stay, obviously, a little bit narrower to try and just really instill a little bit of discipline. So it's just limiting the space, that's all, delaying it a little bit. But like I feel there's certain goals, and the one in the week, which we mentioned, that little Dickov and Josko Vardy in between, where Erling Haaland gets his foot on the end. That ball's really important when you haven't got much space. So that was the one that pleased me most.
Psychologically, it's interesting going into the international break, because if City win today and then beat Everton in their first game after the international break, there is a possibility they could be top of the Premier League table. It shows you how quickly things can change from those 2 defeats in August, doesn't it?
No, it's amazing, isn't it? Because although Liverpool weren't playing well, they were getting the results, getting the points, which concerned a lot of people, because you felt even when not performing that sort of title-winning performances. But obviously some people will say, well, it was about time, it was going to turn, where they got slightly fortunate. But what a result for Chelsea. It's opened it up. It's the Arsenal as well, and it's now a really exciting reign already so early in the Premier League. And now, because of those couple of losses we had early on in the season, it puts it really close. So yeah, something to go at, real positive. We're going into an international break. This is one of those now. In that dressing room, we say we had a really good run if we can go and take all 3 points today.
Of course, we must quickly talk about midweek and Monaco and the 2-2 draw and conceding that late penalty. I just wonder what your thoughts are, because people have sort of suggested that this season City aren't quite at their best yet. Did you think that the performance on Wednesday showed that they're now in the sort of groove that Pep would enjoy?
Well, I think it was we're getting closer. You know, we're getting better, more organised, more resilient. But as we know in the Champions League, you've got to get that extra goal. Teams and decisions, I feel like there's always something that can happen in Champions League football with certain decisions. I thought it was very unfortunate. It was cruel at the end, and that happened. So once you're having the domination, we had a couple of efforts on the woodwork, which you've got to make sure you try and be more clinical. It's easy to say that, but I think that is the next level, isn't it? Keep creating, keep doing the right things, and it will start to turn. We've got a relatively new setup, new style of play. We've gone a little bit more direct at times, and a new coaching staff, etc. So the players are getting used to it. The squad's looking a little bit better, a little bit healthier when you see the support we've got now. So I feel like this is a really interesting game, and it'll put a good week of football. If we can take that, like I say, stress, we must take the points.
Just one final thought, therefore. What does your gut tell you about today, bearing in mind they beat Manchester United a week ago, Brentford?
Well, I still feel like they've got work to do. Obviously, they lost a lot of players, and obviously the inexperience of Keith Andrews, which we talk about, obviously down the spine for him, when he's got Kelleher, Collins, and obviously Jordan Henderson, and then they've changed slightly with 2 up the top. He's still not found a formula. That was a huge psychological result for them against Manchester United. So they'd have been looking at that thinking, you know, if we don't get that result, we've got Manchester City coming. But now they're in a better place, so it will be more difficult, but I feel like it's still going to be a long season for this Brentford side, so we must capitalise very quickly on it.
OK, thank you, Michael. The thoughts there of Michael Brown. He's my co-commentator during the game. Don't forget to download the app, and you'll have our commentary blow by blow from start to finish. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much to Alistair Mann and to Michael Brown, who'll be giving you a full match commentary in about 17 minutes' time. And you can see there's Tijani Reinders, Oscar Barr, both starting today, warming up. Of course, there has been other fixtures in the Premier League today. Just to give you a quick update, Everton have beaten Crystal Palace 2-1 with a late winner from Jack Grealish. So huge congratulations to Jack there. He's having a great season. Be keeping his eye on that England squad as well, will our Jack. Now, Ben, whenever we have a debutant on the show, we like to take a few minutes just to chat about them, have a little better way to start than to talk at your time at City? So, of course, you came through the ranks at the academy. What was that like for you?
Yeah, amazing. I was there from 9 years old, and yeah, really fond memories. You know, reaching a point where we managed to win the Youth Cup as well, and yeah, that was a brilliant time. And as I said, fond memories. Great. Oh gosh, I've been heck.
So young.
Yeah, so young.
Not changed at all, mate.
No, exactly. But no, fantastic moments. You know, playing in front of 20,000 at the Etihad. Great memories, scoring in the final and lifting the trophy. And yeah, we had a good group of players, a lot of local lads, and yeah, you know, looking back on it, you know, if I could say where I am now, like from then, you know, I've enjoyed it. I've had a good career, but you know, the base and the grounding that was given at this club was superb, and gave me the opportunity to build on it and go from there. Enjoyed every minute of it.
And you were captain of that team as well, of course, as well. I was there. I remember being there that day as well. I swear I was sat next to Sean Wright-Phillips, but I need to check with him on that. In terms of a starting point for your career, how important was that captaining that youth team to that victory? Yeah, you know, it was fantastic being able to lead the group. It was sort of the first time we got to experience what being a professional was like. You know, we travelled throughout the country, playing different teams, going on the road, playing in stadiums. It was really important sort of education for us as well, and playing in front of big crowds and being able to like lead the group and lift the trophy. Yeah, it was amazing, a great experience, and yeah, it gave me a lot of confidence as well to go on and do more in the game. And of course, fast forwarding a bit into your career, a lot of people will know you from your time at Burnley because you were there for a long time. I mean, a lot of games you played, 332 times you played for the Clarets. You went from City to Burnley. What was that like at that time when you made the move and you started to forge your professional, like, men's career?
Yeah, it was an exciting time. You know, I'd spent a lot of time at City and around the squad and training with amazing players. You know, we've spoken about Sergio Aguero, playing up against him and Adebayor and people like that in training, and Tevez and players like that, and getting that education, being able to you know, train alongside those players with Vincent Kompany as well, and getting his advice and seeing him how he worked and trained was amazing. But for me, that's my goal against City.
That's your goal, yeah.
Score many right foot volleys in my career.
It was over. It was over.
Yeah. So I went on loan to Leicester initially and managed to play a good number of games there, and went out on loan to Burnley, where I was there for 11 years, but I felt like I needed to go and play football and get that experience, and really enjoyed it. Yeah, getting out and playing, and yeah, just being part of a first team, really being a mainstay, and yeah, 11 years at Burnley, and yeah, played a lot of games there.
Not many players play 11 years at any club these days. Of course, after Burnley, you went to Brentford, to our opponents today. Had a couple of years at Brentford. What was your impression of your time there? Yeah, fantastic. It was a you know, completely different club to Burnley. So it was great going there. I said it was a little goal there. So it was a good day for myself in Brentford. And that, yeah, it was a another one
late
I remember.
Winner we got. Yeah, but yeah, no, it was a big day for myself coming here. It's always a big day to come to the Etihad and play City. But yeah, my time at Brentford was fantastic. We talk about set pieces there. I just want to go through that. We actually planned on Brian running there to go a bit deeper and bring in, was it John Stones in at the time, played Ivan on the side, and just the little bits of things that you don't really see. Yeah, Brian and Bowman making that late run and dropping John Stones in to play Ivan on the side, which caused the goal really. So, but yeah, fantastic memories. You know, working with Thomas was superb. He's a great man and a great manager, and I learnt a lot from him. And yeah, my first season there was fantastic. Couldn't have gone any better. My second one was okay, and then my third one was a bit disappointing. But you know, a great time there, and yeah, look back fondly again. I've been very lucky to be at places where the clubs are doing well. So yeah, very fortunate. Yeah, at your time in Brentford, they became a Premier League staple club. They became, you know, stability in the Premier League, a team that would challenge anybody in the Premier League, a team that you were always a little bit nervous to go up and play against. What was it like to be there during that time where they became that Premier League team? Yeah, so I arrived 3 weeks before their second season, so they'd stayed up the first season, and it was like that second season, and everyone was sort of talking about Brentford, you know, that second season syndrome going down, and they'd brought me in to, I guess, give a little bit of Premier League experience, and Ethan Pinnock had got injured, which was one of the reasons why they really wanted me to come in, especially at the start of the season and play for them. And you know, I took up the opportunity to go there, and we sort of dispelled the second season. I really had a great season there. You know, I felt right at home, and I say learning all the set pieces and everything, the way they played and did things a little bit differently, was a really good learning curve for me. And yeah, that first season was fantastic, and then yeah, we were off and running then.
Of course, we love our academy at this club. We're proud of all the players that come through our academy and go on to have great careers as well. In terms of the FA Cup Youth Final, we've been in 7 of them since you won it in 2008. Only won 2 of them, though. We won in 20 and 24. But, of course, the progress of continually getting to finals as well. 3 in a row, 15, 16, 17. And we've reached the last 2 as well, in 24 where we beat Leeds and in 25 where we lost to Villa as well. Some of the standout, obviously, academy players that have made it in that time, Foden, Palmer, McAtee, and of course Lewis and O'Reilly as well. And we've had several debuts for the senior team in the last 2 seasons alone. Of course, the Heskey brothers having their debut, both of them having their debut in that Huddersfield game as well. And of course, Mukasa regularly in the squad now, Caden Braithwaite, the 16-year-old, playing last year as well. So it's a real proud time for our academy. As I say, always proud of the academy, but the progression just seems to keep getting better and better, Paul.
It does, but look, the academy at City has been there for a long, long time. I mean, there were some players that played in that cup final with you, wasn't there? Wasn't Kieran Trippier?
Kieran,
Bolly.
Yeah, Bolly, yeah.
Dedrick, did he play?
Dedrick was, alongside me. Yeah,
so all of them, went on to have Ryan McGivern. Was it?
Ryan, yeah.
You know, they've all went on to have fantastic careers. And then you look, the game we done the other week there, the Huddersfield game, where we had 8 academy products on the pitch that have came through the system. You know, it just shows to go that we're doing something right. But we've been doing something right for a long, long time, and it's great to see these players. It's great winning trophies, but it's great to see them progressing into the first team. And if they don't get in the first team here, they're getting some wonderful moves away to make a fantastic career for themselves.
Well, I love it when I'm covering the EFL and I'm like, from the City Academy, from the City Academy. For you, Ben, what's the difference, or can you see a difference between sort of academy football when you were coming through and academy football now?
Yeah, it's massively changed over the years. It's such a, you know, on a larger scale now. They start so young as well. I think 6 years old. I think they come in now at a young age, and yeah, the talent spotting that goes on, bringing players from different areas as well. I think a lot of time and effort goes into the academy. It was such a small scale when I was there. We had a team and we played. Now there's a few teams here and there, and a lot of money's going into the academy here, especially, and producing players, which is fantastic. So yeah, I think it's changed an awful lot from when I was younger. But as you say, they're still producing players, especially here, and yeah, no, it's great to see, especially when there's nothing better when a young lad from the local area comes through and does so well in the team. I think every fan loves to see that, and there's been a lot of young players come through, as you said, recently, which is always good to see.
Oh, you're so right. That's my absolute favourite, when it is a Mancunian lad comes through, specifically, you know, a Mancunian Manchester City fan whose whole family is City fans. Thank you, Nico Lewis and Nico O'Reilly and many others that are coming through. Completely agree. And of course, your son, on the other side of it, your son went through the B team set up at Brentford.
Yeah, he did, and it was fantastic for him. You know, he went from sort of playing semi-pro into a first-team environment at a Premier League club, and they were so good. The staff there, the players. You know, Matt speaks very highly of Ben and how he helped him out, gave him some good advice sometimes. Yeah. And then that set him on a different trail from now, playing first-team football in League One.
OK, thank you. I really enjoyed that. Thank you for your time there. We are only a few minutes away now from today's kick-off, 4:30 p.m, City taking on Brentford. This is the moment where I start to get a little bit nervous. Of course, international break coming up, so it feels even more important to get a win, to go out on a high before we take this 2-week break.
Yeah, we'll do. But said it'll be a difficult game. But I do fully expect Man City to go on and win. They're going to have their tin hats on at times. You know, there's going to be a lot of long balls, a lot of long throws, set pieces, free kicks. Wouldn't surprise me. Like, we've seen your assist the other day that if the goalkeeper's taking kicks from the halfway line, everybody's getting in the box to pick up second ball. So we're going to have to really deal with that. But I feel we're hitting the real good bit of form at the minute, and that combination between Phil and Erling is looking really good at the minute. So do you want my prediction yet?
Go on.
I'll go 3-1 Man City.
Oh, yes, please. Ben, what sort of game are you expecting?
Yeah, similar as Paul said. I think City will dominate. I have to expect, like I say, a lot of set pieces, long balls directed to Thiago, looking for the runs of Sharda straight away. But I think City will be too strong. I think, like you said, they're coming to a great bit of form and starting to really motor, I think, and looking strong. I think it'll be a close game. I think. Do you want me to have a prediction?
Go on, yeah, if you don't mind.
It's a tough one. I think City will win. I think City will win today. Probably 1-0, 2-0, maybe 1-0.
I don't mind.
Close one.
I'll take it. It's fine with me, Ben. Yeah, absolutely. I'll take it. Lovely. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's a real pleasure to have, a current player, former City Academy player, former Brentford player. It's been perfect time, and we really appreciate you coming on the show today. Thank you
very much. Yeah.
Paul, thank you as always.
Thank you as always.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching Matchday Live. Of course, as always, we will be back at half-time. Ben, Paul and myself will be here at half-time. And then at full-time as well, where hopefully we are talking about a big Manchester City win before the international break. So if you are not currently watching on the app, download that now. Get yourself onto the Manchester City app, because that's where you're going to get your full match commentary. We're going to hand over now to Alistair Mann and to Michael Brown.
Thank you, Nat. Great timing as well, as the players are literally about to emerge from the tunnel on a relatively mild October day in West London, just by the side of the M4. So welcome to the G-Tech Community Stadium as City have travelled to Brentford as they seek to go into the international break with a positive performance and to move within 3 points of the early season leaders Arsenal. Indeed, if City win today and then against Everton in their next game, they could even be top of the Premier League come full time in 2 weeks. It's just one of the many incentives for a City side who have constructed a 6-game unbeaten run to very quickly eradicate the disappointment of successive defeats at the end of August.